There is a silent enemy, secretly chipping away at your youth every single day. It isn't time. It isn't wrinkles. Its name is cortisol, the stress hormone. Modern science is only now beginning to understand its devastating power. But here's something incredible. 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosophers didn't just know about it. They discovered how to defeat it. They found a method, a system of thinking that could perform surgery on stress at its very root. In this video, we're not talking about skin creams. We are going to decode the Marcus Aurelius Method. First, we'll unmask the true enemy that is aging you. Then, we'll explore the three mental weapons of this great emperor. And finally, I will give you specific mental exercises you can start practicing tonight to begin rebuilding your peace of mind. So, what is this enemy that ages you faster than time itself? We've all been there. A terrible traffic jam, a nasty email from your boss, a pointless argument. Instantly, our body reacts. Our shoulders tense up, our heart beats faster, a hot flush runs down our spine. That's stress. Modern science calls the culprit behind it cortisol. And yes, it is silently wrecking your skin and your health from the inside out every single day, every single hour. But those pressures, how do they compare to the weight one man carried on his shoulders 2,000 years ago? Imagine you are Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the most powerful empire on earth. You don't just deal with traffic. You deal with barbarian hordes waiting to tear apart the northern border. You don't just get a nasty email. You get scrolls bearing news of a devastating plague sweeping through the empire, claiming millions of lives, destroying entire cities. It takes your beloved wife and your children. And on top of it all, you face betrayal from your most trusted general, Avidius Cassius, who declares himself emperor and pushes the empire to the brink of civil war. War, plague, betrayal, loss. That pressure should have crushed him. It should have aged him overnight. But it didn't. Because in the quiet of his military tent, by the dim light of a candle, he realized a truth that most of us, in the noise of the modern world, often miss. A truth that can change everything. The truth is this: what causes our suffering are not the events themselves, but our judgments about them. A traffic jam isn't a disaster, it's simply cars that have stopped. Disaster is the label our mind rushes to apply. A boss's harsh words are not a humiliation, they are just sounds being uttered. Humiliation is our painful interpretation. A general's betrayal is not the end of the world. It is simply the action of another person, an event outside of your control. It is these labels, these emotional stories we create, that trigger the cortisol storm, the one carving wrinkles not just onto your face, but into your very soul. Marcus Aurelius understood that to defeat the enemies without, he first had to defeat the enemy within. He had to become a surgeon of his own mind, and his weapon of choice was Stoic philosophy. So how do we remove those judgmental labels? How do we perform this mental surgery? Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics used a three-part mental toolkit, one that is unbelievably sharp and effective. The first weapon, the foundation of it all, is called the Dichotomy of Control. It sounds complex, but it's brutally simple. Imagine your life consists of two circles, a small inner circle and a vast outer circle. The small circle contains everything you have complete control over: your thoughts, your actions, and most importantly, your judgments. The large outer circle, that's everything else. The actions of others, the weather, the past, the future, and even the ultimate outcome of your efforts. The Stoics taught that the majority of our suffering comes from trying to control the outer circle while neglecting the inner one. Epictetus, a great Stoic teacher who was once a slave, delivered an immortal line. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. You see, Epictetus isn't telling us to be indifferent or emotionless. He's telling us to become a scientist of the mind, clinically separating the raw data, the event, from our interpretation, the judgment. The second weapon is leveling up from living healthy to living virtuously. Many people will tell you to diet and exercise to look younger. That's true, but it's missing the most critical component: purpose. For Marcus Aurelius, a healthy body wasn't for showing off. It was a sharp tool, a loyal soldier in service of reason and virtue. When you refuse a piece of cake, you're not just cutting calories. You are training temperance. When you get out of bed on a cold morning to exercise, you're not just burning fat. You are training courage. A healthy body is the reward for a disciplined mind. That is the true fountain of youth. And the third weapon, the greatest paradox of all, learning to age wisely. At this point you might say, but I really want to fight aging. I understand. But ask yourself, a battle you are guaranteed to never fully win, can that truly bring you peace? Marcus Aurelius proposed a bolder strategy: amor fati, to love your fate. This isn't surrender. This is the art of turning everything that happens, including wrinkles and gray hair, into fuel for your growth. And the ultimate weapon to practice amor fati is memento mori. Remember, you must die. When you realize your time is finite, you won't waste it worrying about a wrinkle. Instead, you'll use it to love, to learn, and to live a full life. And no cosmetic can replicate the beauty of a person who has lived such a life. Theory is wonderful, but true power lies in practice. So here are 2 exercises you can start today to apply the Marcus Aurelius Method. First, the evening Stoic review. Before you go to sleep, take a notebook and draw 2 columns. Left column, what happened. Right column, my judgment about it. For example, left, my boss didn't reply to my email. Right, he's ignoring me, I'm not important. This exercise will train your brain to see the difference between reality and the story you tell yourself. Second, the 5-minute premeditatio. When you wake up, spend 5 minutes imagining the annoying things that could happen today. A traffic jam, an annoying coworker, a spotty internet connection. Don't fear them. Prepare for them mentally. This way, when they actually happen, they are no longer a shock, but a pre-rehearsed script. The cortisol storm never gets a chance to erupt. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Separate events from judgment. Imagine the worst. Practice virtue. But here's the truth not many people will tell you. Practicing Stoicism is hard work. It's not a switch you can flip to instantly become calm. It's a battle, not against the outside world, but against the habits wired into your mind over decades. The most common mistake people make is treating Stoicism like a destination instead of a path. They try to become a perfect sage overnight. You read a few pages, you watch a video like this, and you decide you'll never be angry again. But then tomorrow you're still in traffic. Your coworker still annoys you. You get angry once, you worry about something you can't control, and you immediately tell yourself, "This isn't for me, I've failed." That is the biggest trap. Even Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, was not born a saint. His book, Meditations, was not written for us. It was his private journal. It was his daily self-reminders, his struggles, his training. Listen to what he wrote to himself to get out of bed on a cold morning. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." He didn't expect a perfect day. He prepared for a challenging one. He knew he would stumble. His greatness wasn't in his perfection, but in his relentless effort to get back up. So see these two exercises not as tricks, but as sets and reps in the gym for your mind. The evening review isn't for beating yourself up. It's the game tape of your match. You watch it back, analyze your moves, and ask, why in that moment did I label that event a disaster? What can I do differently next time? The morning premeditatio isn't about worrying. It's a soldier's rehearsal before a battle. You prepare for the worst-case scenarios, not to fear them, but to strip them of their power to surprise you. Some days you'll do great. Some days you'll forget. Some days you'll react instinctively and feel disappointed. That's perfectly normal. It's part of the process. True youthfulness, true peace, doesn't come from a single moment of enlightenment. It comes from thousands of tiny choices, from the persistence to get up after every fall, from forgiving yourself and committing to do better tomorrow. This isn't a sprint. It's the building of an inner citadel, one stone at a time every single day. So in the last 10+ minutes, we've gone on a journey together. We went from the very human desire to look younger to a much higher goal, to become wiser. We unmasked the true enemy that ages us, realizing it's not time, but our own judgments. We discovered an emperor's method, using the dichotomy of control to find freedom, using virtue to find purpose, and using amor fati to find peace in all circumstances. Finally, I want to leave you with one story. When Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, lost everything he owned in a shipwreck, he didn't curse his fate. Instead, he famously said, "Fortune, I applaud you, for you have driven me back to philosophy." He turned a disaster into a beginning. He didn't get younger physically, but he was reborn in spirit. Now, my challenge to you is this. For the next 7 days, pick one of the 2 exercises we talked about. Just one. And observe the change, not just on your face, but deep within your mind. This video began with the question of how to look younger. But I want to end it with a deeper question. If you could grow old more wisely, with a calm mind and a courageous heart, what would that truly mean for your life? Share your reflections in the comments below. I would genuinely love to read and learn from your stories.